Hey guys, this is Kevin Murphy on my channel called Narcissistic Abuse, Learning Who I Am Again. This is going to be a quick video as I'm on my way to work, and this video is going to be on codependency and the narcissistic relationship. The codependent is naturally a person who likes to take care of other people. They feel that it's their responsibility for the well-being and the needs of other people. And with that being said, the codependent has a very, very, very difficult time taking care of themselves. And codependency is usually birthed out of childhood trauma. A codependent is usually a codependent because they have learned that that is their responsibility to take care of the narcissist. They might have had a narcissistic parent or a narcissistic grandparent, whoever that original caregiver was. And because the codependent hasn't dealt with their own trauma or their own original wound in their life, they are prone to get together with someone who is a narcissist. So we all know what a narcissistic person is. A narcissistic person is someone who is they feel very entitled. It's all about them. It's all about getting their needs met. It's all about what are you doing for me, or how are you helping me, or how's this relationship benefiting me. So a narcissist is not in a relationship because they really want to give to that person. They're in a relationship because they are looking to take from that person. And the codependent wants to give, but the codependent is an excessive giver, and they give out of lack. And when you're in a relationship with someone, you want to be able to give from a place of wholeness. You want to give out of a place of I have enough. I have more than enough. So I want to share all of these good things that I have. And the codependent is not able to do that because they are entering into the relationship with nothing. They're entering into the relationship with nothing to give. So they give on empty. It's almost like driving a car with no gas. And so that's how the codependent is. And the narcissist sees that. And the narcissist, that's where the love bombing comes in. And the narcissist will see that codependent as very vulnerable, very sad, very somber, very emotionless. And the narcissist will come in like the savior, the knight in shining armor, and come and try to rescue that codependent. And then the codependent will try to rescue the narcissist, because that codependent sees a sense of confidence in that narcissist, but they also see that narcissist they see and notice that there's a sense of toxicity in the narcissist. But the codependent, because they're so hooked on helping, they feel that, oh, I can change this person. I can fix this situation. I can make him or her love me. And this gives me this leads me to an example of a girlfriend that I've been friends with for some time. Excuse me, I have a really bad cold. She hooked up with this guy about 8 years ago, and from the bat, this guy, I could tell he was a narcissist. And this woman is a very, very, very hardworking woman, and she works as a care provider, and she makes a decent living and things like that. She has her own place, she has her own car, she has her life together. And this guy I think they met on the bus, and they she approached him So again, I would call her, or my friend, a codependent. And this guy who she met on the bus, that she's still with, a narcissist. And the two met probably back in 2009. And from in the beginning, he love bombed her. He told her that, oh, she's amazing, and she's a great person. She's very compassionate and all this other stuff. And she, right from the beginning, she fell right in. They ended up moving in together within a month of meeting. Um, the love bombing on his part continued until probably 3 months into the relationship, and then he started, devaluing her, telling her that she's not cooking good enough, that she needs to lose weight, um, she needs to get herself together, and things like that. And that's a sure sign that you're in an abusive relationship, is when you're first on this pedestal, and you can't do any wrong or anything like that, and then all of a sudden you are being ridiculed for how you look, and things like that. And so this friend of mine, she struggled with with issues with her weight for quite some time. And you know it was and she confided in this narcissist about how she felt about her weight problem and things like that. And what happened was, after the love bomb phase was over, he threw it in her face. And that's what they do. When you don't have appropriate boundaries, and you start confiding in them about your problems and your own personal insecurities, they will throw those insecurities into your face, most definitely. And so, like I said, this girl has a car, had a car, and she had a really, really, really nice car. And this guy didn't even have, had nothing. He didn't have a car, he didn't have a job, he had nothing. And she was taking care of him. And he was older than she is. And my friend is like in her late 20s, early 30s. And again, she was very hardworking and everything. But that codependency taught her that she needed to take care of this man, and she needed to serve this man. And so I recall a time where he asked to borrow her car, and and she needed to go to work, and that was the only car that they had between the two of them, because he had nothing. And so he was like, "Babe, can I please use the car? It's an emergency. Can you let me hold the car?" And she gave in, and she let him have the car. But the problem was, number one, she needed to go to work. So she ended up having to take the bus to work. And this guy had nary a license. Nary a license. And he's driving her car all around town and whatever. And so, according to what this friend told me, he used her car to go and find other women, started looking for, finding other women. She noticed that he was cheating on her when he was finding condoms in the car. She was finding, women's perfume and things like that in the car. But she would always tell me that these were things that he was doing, but she would never confront him, because she was afraid of being by herself. And she was afraid of losing this narcissist. So he continued to ask to borrow the car with no license, and continued to ask to, drive her car around. He wasn't working. He had no license. And, classic codependency, classic toxic relationship. And there were times where I would tell my friend to leave this guy. This guy's no good for you. You know, he's using you for a place to stay. And another thing too, she was paying all the bills. She was paying the rent, she was paying the gas and electric, she was paying the cable bill, she was paying everything. And this guy was paying diddly squat, nothing. And she, I mean, 8 years later, she's still in this relationship with this guy. She lost all of her savings. She lost her car because he got caught driving with no license. And he had promised her that with no job that he was going to to get the registration renewed and things like that. Got the car towed. She couldn't afford to get it out. She has no car. And that's what these narcissistic people will do. They will tap you out. You will have absolutely nothing. This girl was empowered. She was financially independent. She had a hefty saving account, everything. And now she has absolutely nothing. And that's what they do. These narcissistic people will drain you of everything. They will drain you of your confidence. They will drain you of your finances. They will drain you of your peace. They'll drain you of your happiness and everything. And now she feels that there's no way out. And no matter what you tell her that how toxic this relationship is, she continues to stay in it. And so I use that story as an example of, if you find yourself in a situation somewhat similar to my friends, don't walk away, run away. These people will never change. She's been in this relationship with this man for 8 years, and it's perpetually getting worse. And look at all she has lost within those 8 years. These people do not help you grow. They just break you down. And the purpose of being in a relationship with a man or a woman or whoever your preference is your purpose is to grow together. Your purpose is to build a life together. And this guy was not interested in building a life with her. He was interested in sucking her dry and making sure she had nothing. So if you know of a person who's in a relationship like that and they say, well, I'm waiting for them to change, or I'm waiting for them to do this and I'm waiting for them to do that, you'll be waiting for a very, very, very long time. So the best thing to do, again, work on yourself, work on your self-esteem, learn that it's okay to be by yourself. It's okay to take a season off and to just discover who you are again, to discover who you are. Think of things that you enjoy doing that the narcissist has taken away from you. This woman has been, she has told me, my friend has told me that he takes her nowhere. He doesn't buy her anything. He doesn't, he makes excuses for why he shouldn't get her a gift for Valentine's Day or for her birthday or for any other day. And people outside looking in see that this is emotional abuse. Like, he's not physically abusive toward her, anything like that, but abuse is abuse. And this is a form of emotional abuse, telling her that she's too fat and telling her that she needs to lose weight and all this other stuff. And you're living in her house, eating up her food, and and you're demeaning her, basically. So this is just a quick video on the narcissistic codependency dance. Please subscribe to this channel as I'll be making new videos, and stay tuned for new videos. And remember, you are worth it. You do not listen to the narcissist in your life who tells you otherwise, because they are the ones that have the problem, not you. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday, and I will see you back next time. Bye.